Okay. I said that I would. I said that we should, and we are going to go under the hood with the Princeton and Harvard review. And this is so very important. Let's lock in. Right, this article from it's actually back a good bit, 2013, but the framework of what we're talking about is still the same today. I know that there are people out there. This is Chris in the Cultiverse audio experience. I know that there are people out there that are questioning themselves, saying why me, um, trying to understand why they're not producing as well as others, and so on and so forth. Now, there could be many different reasons why that's the case, if that's you, but one of them is taking responsibility for it. And that means getting more information as well, right? Researching some things to understand what caused you to be in such a place. Now, in this case, I'm talking about people coming from downtrodden neighborhoods, ghettos, you know what I'm saying? Poverty stricken, basically. Um, but this article kind of hits it on the head a little bit. At least it's a starting point if you come from any one of these areas. Okay. Poor concentration. Poverty reduces brain power needed for navigating other areas of life. This essentially says that you are already 10 steps behind anybody else, at a different income bracket, all right, that are not in poverty. Anyways, this is by Morgan Kelly, Office of Communications, on August 29th. This is 2013. This is some time back, but like I said, the framework is still there. All right. Poverty and all its related concerns require so much mental energy that the poor have less remaining brain power to devote to other areas of life, according to research based at Princeton University. Pretty credible. Um, what do you say, right? As a result, people of limited means are more likely to make mistakes and bad decisions that may be amplified by and perpetuate their financial woes. So what you see here and what I get out of it is that it's pretty much cyclic. Like it's gonna loop and loop and loop and loop again. Well, you're poor, so you're consumed with worry about other things. And doing that, you can't focus to get to the other avenues in life that you need to bring you success or take you out of that poverty um, place. So, with that being the case, they just keep feeding each other. Well, poor, so you can't do it. You can't do it, so you remain poor. It's like, you know. Now, there are outliers. That's not the case for everybody, obviously. But again, these effects are lifetime. The things you go through, let's talk about some of the concerns that they are talking about. So I took the liberty to look into that just a little bit to kind of read over for us. All right. Let's think about this. What are some of the concerns? All right. Some of the most critical concerns revolve around systemic neglect, the breakdown of social infrastructure, and daily survival threats. Now, daily survival threats are a big one. Anybody that has stayed in the projects for a little bit of time or any ghettos a little bit of time understand what the threats are. Police brutality and bias is one. Corrupt or absent governance, extortion and protection fees, things like that, exploitation of unauthorized workers. I mean, this is around the world, environmental and infrastructure crisis, severe environmental toxicity. Now, that's the biggest one where neighborhoods are frequently built next to open chemical dumps. Oh, man. You know what? Literally, I can say that I lived this life. I know exactly what they're talking about. Open sewage and waste accumulation, absence of municipal trash collection and plumbing lead to toxic runoff and frequent outbreaks of waterborne diseases. Lack of clean water, unstable and hazardous housing, frequent utility grid failures, exploitive child labor, Mm-mm-mm. generational trauma and mental health neglect. Big one. Complete absence of mental health support for communities suffering from chronic PTSD due to constant exposure to violence. Whoa. Whoa. Lack of legal identity. Children born without official birth certificates, permanently locking them out of legal employment, voting, bank accounts, and formal education. Uh, man, let's look at this. Generational trauma and mental health neglect. PTSD due to constant exposure to violence. Why is the violence there? Well, we can guess it, right? Lack of resources. People are doing other things to make ends meet. So this article, um, to me, just kind of nails it right on the head, and that's just something that um, you can't just ignore it. And I think that's really what I'm trying to get at. But if I go down here a little bit further, where it says here, published in the journal Science, the study presents a unique perspective regarding the causes of persistent poverty. The researchers suggest that being poor may keep a person from concentrating on the very avenues that would lead them out of poverty. Like I said, it's cyclic. So I'm not saying at all that you have a good reason to be irresponsible or to remain in a position that you're in. Leveling up should be everybody's concern. And I just want to emphasize that. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what your situation is or had been. Everybody should be looking to leveling up, you know? So, this information that I'm giving is information that's designed for you to understand, not to put yourself behind any further, not to look down on yourself, and not to just allow life to just walk on by you, because these things right here that you've been through, I've been through, um they threaten to keep you in a place. You have to see what's happening to you, or what has happened to you. All right, think back. When I think back, I know that I had concerns every day. There were concerns there. They weren't marked as urgent because I'm used to swimming in it. um it was nothing to walk past bodies, or you know I don't even want to get into it like that, but it was nothing to walk past nastiness. You didn't think anything of it because you were born there or raised there. So you didn't understand that it was affecting what your trajectory was going to be. So in this article, I'm hoping that it gives somebody out there a little bit more perspective, and it helps you to get up and fix some things. We want to fix things. We don't want to, you know what I'm saying? That's what we do. We fix things. We don't sit up here and use excuses. We understand what happened. Okay, got it. Now you go under the hood with yourself and you fix these things. You know what I'm saying? If you want a good life, that's what you're going to do. All right. A person's cognitive function is diminished by the constant and all consuming effort of coping with the immediate effects of having little money, such as scrounging to pay bills and cut costs. I could tell you right now, coming from a household with a single mom, what I'm saying, trying, raising me and my sister, I've seen I've seen some of these things. Understand what it is to not have the basics um consistently met. Um, I've seen my mom settling for less in a situation because she felt she had no choice. She did the best that she could, or she thought she was doing the best that she could in any case. You know, I love my mom more than anything in the world. But I do know that she was affected by the environment. And I didn't understand for the life of me why, at the time, why not do better? You know what I'm saying? But I think, again, like this article is pointing out, like I think that there's the mental resources, you know, it's exhausting. Worrying every day may be a little bit more exhausting than, you know, parents might give credit for. And again, there are outliers. There are people that come from different stock that whatever the case may be. But what I'm saying is this is that the what's real is real. Um, Mental resources being consumed by worry, not having any backup to the situation, all of that is very real, especially in poverty stricken areas. So a lot of the things that you would look at is like school. The kids go to school. Are they safe? Schools in those areas typically, excuse me, schools in those areas typically are not very, you know, um, resourceful. You don't get the best education, and certainly you can't say in most cases that they're very safe. Your kids are on their own. So I think this article just kind of hits on a lot without having gone through all of it to this point. In a series of experiments, researchers found that pressing financial concerns had an immediate impact on the ability of low income individuals to perform on common cognitive and logic tests. This is research. This is research. It's not like we're just talking here. It's coming from, credible sources, and it's given us, man, it kind of reminds me a lot of what goes on in politics a little bit. Sometimes things are just put right in your face, and we as the American people just look at it happen. But it's there, you know, it's there. Whatever happened, happened, and somehow everybody kind of leaves it like, okay, well, it happened. Yeah, we understand that. But we're still amazed when we get the results we get, you know. But that's another story. I probably shouldn't have gone into that. But on average, a person preoccupied with money problems exhibited a drop in cognitive function similar to a 13-point dip in IQ or the loss of an entire night's sleep, like I said the other day. So, you know, these things are real. And if you're going through it now, look at this and understand where you are, how much responsibility you have to yourself and to your family coming. You're going to have a family if you don't have it yet. Or maybe you're a young adult that just started having children. Okay, you have one, two, whatever. Um, but I'll tell you like this, it's all on you at the end of the day. The information that is being put out is one thing, but it's really, really all on you. It's all on us. Give an example of my wife. Like when we started having children, she realized she had to do something in her education right away. She went and took care of that right away. There was no hanging out. There was no, um, you know, time to, go be with the girls or whatever the case may be. Everybody was shut down until she was done with what she had to do. And that benefited our family greatly. So, um, I've seen both sides of the road, and I just want to be able to put this out there for somebody listening. It's all on you at the end of the day. Go do your research, look at the information, accept what happened. Acceptance is a big thing. Accept what might where you came from. Okay. Don't take it forward with you. Just accept enough to understand what caused what to happen for you. That's really what you should be doing. These pressures, it says here as they continue. Well, I'm not going to go there yet. But when their concerns were benign, low income individuals performed competently at a similar level to people who were well off. Jaying Zhao, I probably butchered the name, who conducted the study as a doctoral student in the lab of co author Eldar Shaffer, Princeton's William Stewart Todd Professor of Psychology and Public Affairs. So Zhao and Shaffer, okay, worked with Anandi Mani, an associate professor in economics at the University of Warwick in Britain. Okay, these are credible institutions, um, hardworking and credible individuals. Yeah, and again, they just repeated these pressures create, concern in the mind that draws mental resources to the problem itself. That means we're unable to focus on other things in life that need our attention. Now, they also say here previous views and poverty have blamed poverty on personal failings or an environment that is not conducive to success. We are arguing that the lack of financial resources itself can lead to impaired cognitive function. The very condition of not having enough can actually be a cause of poverty. I mean, a lot of the times people are just talking. And I'll look for some updates, but the framework with what they're talking about is the same. A lot of this is actually common sense. They're just putting numbers to it. So, yeah, they did the research. But most of us that have lived it, we already know this. It's not like it's news, you know? But finally, a credible institution, research was done to establish exactly what it is we are talking about on a daily basis. And whether it's even in the music, that, yeah, there's a lot of bad things in the music and hip hop music or whatever. There's a lot of bad things said. But when you look at this article and begin to understand that there are people being affected in such a way as this, there are limited resources. You open up your talents to whether it's music, sports, whatever it is, and then maybe you try to, start over. There's a lot of examples of people that have done that, and the next generation behind them gets the benefit of going to better schooling and so on and so forth, coming up better. Anything that's driving our community and society as a whole into poverty, I'm against. So I do not like the effects of these things, but we have to understand how things come to be sometimes so that you don't give up on yourself or your family or whatever. That's just what I would say. So with that said, you know, perform well out there, on purpose. Do things with excellence. You know, don't leave any stone unturned. All right. But that also means an understanding who you are, why you're there, why you're performing the way you're performing, And if you don't have those issues that you can recognize, well, thank God for that. Be thankful and grateful and reach back and pull somebody else up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say, and that's I'm going to follow up. There's some more to this article. I'm going to follow up, with a little bit more down the line. But that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed the information, enjoyed the content. And if you did, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to hearing from you in the comments too. So you all have a blessed day and stay well. And always, always shoot for the skies. Love you all. Have a good one.